What's up, everyone? Piscean here. Let's talk about August 2026 and pull up a seat. This isn't the usual. Here's what's happening this month horoscope. This is the version where we sit with the actual sky and ask what is really asking of us. August 2026 is eclipse season in full force. A total solar eclipse in Leo on the 12th and a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces on the 28th. And the planets around them are not subtle. I'm going to walk you through this as if we're looking at the same chart together. No fluff, no generic sun sign blur, just the architecture of the month and how to work with it like someone who actually knows the language. With peace and love, please like, subscribe, comment, share if you dare and care. And let's continue onwards. So August 2026 at a glance. August 3rd, Chiron stations retrograde in early Taurus. As I'm recording this, stationary retrograde is August 6th, and Venus is now entered Libra, her own sign. We love it. We love her there because we have Moon in Libra. What's up? August 8th, Lionsgate Portal Peak. Stay tuned for that video. We're going to continue going into depth on that Lionsgate Portal Peak, and it's going to be absolutely insane. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, comment, continue sharing. August 9th, Mercury enters Leo. Who's ready to grow some balls without a dick? Who's ready? Get that testosterone masculinized energy that has been pumping in your veins, ladies. Let's get it going. August 11th, Mars enters Cancer. Am I a fan of this? None of us are really, unless, of course, this is in your natal chart, so you're comfortable. But Mars enters Cancer. This is transiting my Saturn in the 3rd, but I'm just gonna talk about something else. August 12th, total solar eclipse with new moon at 20 degrees Leo. Alrighty. We have August 22nd through the 23rd, Sun entering Virgo. Now, guess whose birthdays are August 23rd or 22nd through the 23rd? My brother and my sister, my eldest brother, my eldest sister. I'm a Pisces sun with a Libra moon and a Taurus ascendant. I believe my eldest sister is a sun in Virgo, for sure. A Leo ascendant, possibly Cancer moon. Excuse these notifications. I have got to turn these off. Holy shit. That is so distracting. Sorry, you guys can't even see what I'm going through right here. But I will say, Sun entering Virgo is just like Serve the Servants by Nirvana. I always think of that song when I think about Virgo. My mom is also Sagittarius sun with Virgo rising. I believe my my brother's Virgo sun with Leo moon, Leo rising. Or Libra rising. August 25th, we have Mercury entering Virgo. We love it. Practical precision and technicalities and whatnot. It's my opposite sign. You know, shout out those that have Pisces stellium. Except in my Vedic chart, it's an Aquarius stellium. So, who knows? August 28th, we have a partial lunar eclipse. A full moon at -5 degrees Pisces. Oh boy. We're zoning in on this. Because this can go a lot of different ways. Of course, we're obviously different people. That's how astrology works. But this partial lunar eclipse on August 28th, y'all gotta stay tuned because... And this full moon at -5 degrees Pisces. Okay. If y'all don't be careful who you are messing with, because y'all are in la la land. Y'all think that you've met the perfect match before you realize that they have a shadow self they're obsessed with. So you are gonna have that reckoning. And you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But stay tuned for August 28th, 2026. That full moon at -5 Pisces. So August 31st, ending the month, we have Jupiter and Leo trining Saturn retrograde in Aries. Now this right here could be a geopolitical conflict. And I know this sounds crazy. Oh my gosh, another astrologer talking about geopolitical conflict. I'm going to fucking lose it. But Jupiter in Leo trining Saturn retrograde in Aries. Now, trine is a good aspect, right? But when you have Jupiter in Leo, which is pretty grandiose in nature, and Leo is naturally exalted because it was curated by the Navagraha, which is the sun. Why am I blanking on the sun? The sun's Navagraha. Oh my gosh. And it's Saturn retrograde in Aries. So Saturn retrograde, I have this in my natal chart, and really what we see is internal self-hatred and feeling like, oh, the crowd hates me. The public doesn't know what to do with me. They're confused, so I better stay to myself. And that's what retrogradity really means to me, in my opinion, is just the inner aspect and the introspective nature of being a human being, and that dichotomy of introspection versus the outerspection, where everyone's eyes are on you as if you're some big performer. And even if you are, some big performers have Saturn retrograde, and they get a lot of shit, you know. So yeah, that's a karmic lesson right there. And then Saturn in Aries is just pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. You better get to your 12-hour shift and work it with your 5-hour energy drinks and keep on hauling ass, and don't you dare give up. So that's what that is, in my opinion. Alrighty. Now here's the thing. I wasn't actually going to show the, I guess, video, but I don't mind, actually, because this PDF that my fellow AI agent came up with, and we'll just give a shout out real quick to Grok AI for helping me craft this PDF file with Report Labs as well. August 2026, this advanced astrology YouTube script, and it is presenting very, very well. So now I want to get into the, not the signature, the total solar, the total solar eclipse in Leo, which is occurring on August 12th. So we see it's at 20 degrees Leo to be exact, in path of totality through Spain. Okay, let's start with the big one. On August 12th, we get a total solar eclipse at 20 degrees of Leo. Okay, so this is the second eclipse in the current Leo Aquarius series, and it's the first total solar eclipse in Leo since 2019. And what was happening in 2019? Let's actually backtrack. What was going on for you guys in 2019? Can we even remember? Oh shit, I think I do. It's when I was a freshman and I was being escorted out of school in April and May, being told that COVID is this 1 week stay-at-home cold sickness, but really we're going to be gone for months and months on end, in years, and your freshman year's gone, your sophomore year's gone, and I was in and out of, you know what, I'm not going to talk about that. Anyways, so let's now go on to the path of totality. Cuts across mainland Spain. The first time since 1905. Symbolically, that's not nothing. Spain carries a lot of historical weight around identity, empire, and the performance of power, and we know that Leo is the same territory. Okay, so a solar eclipse is a new moon on steroids. Guess what else is steroids related? Testosterone. Especially exogenous, but any form, of course. The lights go out. The usual narrative of the sun gets interrupted. In Leo, the narrative is about creative selfhood, visibility, sovereignty, and the courage to be seen. Okay? So when the moon slides in front of the sun here, something in the story of who I am when I am fully expressed gets rewritten, not gently, and eclipses don't do gentle. Look at the supporting gas. They're going in with no lubricant. Mercury has just entered Leo on the 9th and is conjunct the eclipse degree within a few days. Jupiter is already in Leo. See, the eclipse is happening inside Jupiter's current home. You Oh boy, oh boy. And we also see that amplifies everything. The stakes feel larger, the story feels mythic, the risk of over-identification with the role is real. Saturn is retrograde in Aries, forming a supportive trine to the Leo planets earlier in the month. Structure is available, but only if you choose it consciously. Consciously. Using our critical thinking skills and the brains we were given. Even our hearts. An advanced note here. The south node, which we'll just call K2, is still moving through Leo. By mid to late August, the Sun and then Mercury will cross K2. Okay? So this eclipse is part of a larger process of releasing old Leo patterns, being outdated ways of seeking validation, performing for approval, or clinging to a fixed identity that no longer fits. And Rahu, which of course is in Aquarius, and it's asking for a different kind of belonging, one that doesn't require you to be the main character every time. Because that's hard for a lot of us to understand. And here's how we work with the Leo eclipse. Don't force a new beginning narrative if it feels false. Eclipses often clear space first. Notice what identity or creative project is ready to be retired. Then, after the dust settles, ask what wants to be born that is more honest than the old performance. Jupiter will keep the doors open for a while. You don't have to have the whole story figured out on the 12th. The build up here. Venus, Mars, and Mercury. Alright, where we're getting juicy. So it's how the week before the eclipses sets the stage here. Before the lights go out on the 12th, the sky rearranges itself in ways that matter. On August 6th, Venus enters Libra, which is her own sign. Okay. She'll stay there until September 10th. This is classic Venus territory. Balance, aesthetics, diplomacy, and the art of relating without losing yourself. After a month of Venus in Virgo where she can get a little critical and service-oriented, this feels like excelling into beauty and reciprocity. But watch the aspects. Mid-month Venus opposes Saturn around the 21st. That can bring a reality check in relationships or finances. The kind that asks whether the structure is actually supporting the connection or just propping up an old agreement. Venus also makes contact with the outer planets earlier, so the Libra desire for harmony gets tested by Neptune's fog, okay? And Pluto's intensity. Not every relationship that feels beautiful is sustainable. The eclipse will clarify that further. And it's just what I was saying earlier. People have so many sides to themselves, so many faces, so many personas, facades, characters. Mars enters Cancer on the 11th, one day before the solar eclipse. Action, desire, and willpower move into the sign of emotional security and protection. Mars in Cancer can be fiercely defensive or deeply nurturing depending on how conscious you are of emotional undercurrents. Coming right before a Leo eclipse, it suggests that whatever new creative or identity chapter begins will need to be rooted in real safety, not just applause. You will need to be able to provide for yourself. Whether it's with rice and beans, shout out Marietta Coleman on YouTube. Mercury's move into Leo on the 9th is almost perfect timing. The mind starts speaking the language of the eclipse before the eclipse even happens. Then on the 15th, Mercury conjuncts Jupiter in Leo. Big ideas, confident speech, possibly overpromising. Use it for visioning, not for contracts that need fine print. By the 25th, Mercury joins the Sun in Virgo, and the tone shifts toward precision and practical magic. So we need to be technical, detailed, rigorous, genius, creative, innovative. Chiron retrograde. Specifically, we want to talk about this. So Chiron stations retrograde at the very beginning of Taurus. Alright, so that would be exactly right there. And the wounded healer asks us to look at where we still equate security with quote-unquote enough. What I was just saying, rice and beans. Shout out Marietta Coleman. I've been watching a lot of her videos. Binge watching, shout out. Enough money, enough stability, enough proof that we won't be abandoned. This retrograde runs into 2027. Look at this. Slow medicine, don't rush to diagnosis. In fact, shout out those that have Taurus rising. And moon and sun and every other placement. Shout out Taurus. Alright, the partial lunar eclipse in Pisces happening August 28th. We want to get into more detail. Closing the emotional arc. And we know it's at -5 degrees Pisces. So 2 weeks after the solar eclipse, the moon reaches fullness and is partially eclipsed in early Pisces. This is the emotional counterpart. The release valve, where the Leo eclipse asks, who am I becoming? The Pisces eclipse asks, what am I still carrying that isn't mine to hold? Pisces is the last sign. It's dissolution, compassion, imagination, and the porous boundary between self and other. A lunar eclipse here can bring endings that feel more like evaporations and clean breaks. Dreams intensify. Oh, grief can surface without a clear storyline. The invitation is to let the tide go out without trying to manage every grain of sand. We notice the larger pattern. We've had a series of Pisces lunar eclipses in this cycle. This one is the final major statement in the current set. Whatever emotional or spiritual story has been unfolding around compassion, escape, sacrifice, or transcendence is reaching a point of culmination. You may not get a neat happily ever after. You might get clarity about what you are ready to stop romanticizing. By this point, the Sun and Mercury are both in Virgo. The contrast is delicious. Virgo's precise, embodied intelligence meeting Pisces' oceanic feeling. Use the Virgo energy to create small practical containers for whatever the eclipse stirs up. Journaling with structure, body-based rituals, sorting the emotional laundry instead of drowning in it. Grabbing that, getting back on that horse. Getting back on that horse, sister. That's what's going to help you. Brothers, sisters. This is what's going to help you, getting back on that horse and soldiering on and saying that there is no chance, that you need to feel as if you don't deserve a spot here. Jupiter trines Saturn, which is occurring the very last day of this month. So the month closes with Jupiter and Leo, forming a harmonious trine to Saturn retrograde in Aries. Now, I said this could go wrong a little bit, in my opinion, but this is because the friction of how hot the sun is in both of these signs, and yes, I know it's Jupiter with Leo, but Saturn with Aries, but still the sun is just so hot. It's so hot. This is one of the more constructive aspects of the entire period. Expansion means structure. Vision means discipline. If the eclipse is open, new territory, this aspect helps you begin building something real inside it. Excuse me, didn't mean to draw right over it. It's quiet support, the kind that lasts longer than the drama. Yes, yes. How to actually work with this month. Okay, practical orientation for the advanced student. Let's keep pounding on. If you're watching this, you already know the basics, so here's the real talk. Eclipse seasons are not for launching every project on your list. They're for listening to what the sky is already rearranging. The Leo solar eclipse wants honest self-expression and the courage to stop performing an outdated version of yourself. The Pisces lunar eclipse wants emotional honesty and the willingness to release what you've been carrying on behalf of other people or old stories. Track the house axis in your chart that holds Leo and Aquarius. That's where the solar eclipse is doing its most personal work. And for me personally, I believe in Vedic astrology so wholeheartedly, but we'll go ahead and look at my Western placements. And I have Leo in the 4th, and I have Aquarius in my 10th. So y'all tell me what you think in the comments below. Then look at the Pisces Virgo axis for the lunar eclipse. Those two axes together tell you that chapter that is turning. Don't try to force a single theme of the month. Let the two eclipses speak to each other. Venus in Libra is your ally for navigating the relational fallout or openings that come with these shifts, while Mars in Cancer reminds you that courage sometimes looks like protecting the soft places instead of charging the hill. And that final Jupiter-Saturn trine is permission to take one solid, optimistic step toward whatever the eclipse is revealed. And we close. That's the sky for August 2026. Oops. Not a prediction list, not a promise that everything will be easy, just a clear map of the weather we're walking through together. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and trust that the part of you that already knows how to read the symbols will do the rest. If this landed, sit with it for a day or two before you decide what to do next. Subscribe, like, comment, share if you dare and care. Eclipse seasons reward the ones who listen longer than they speak. I'll see you under the next sky. The key sources used: current ephemeris data for August 2026, planetary positions, and eclipse timing. Script crafted for conversational delivery and advanced level. We appreciate you for watching. With peace and love, bye, see you now.